Welcome to Retro Upgrade. Today we'll be making our own desoldering gun. It's equivalent to this. This is a real desoldering gun. I got this from Richard. I actually got all three from Richard from Learn Electronics Repair. This one is broken. As you can see, you can't take off the vial with the filter and stuff. So the collet inside has slidden back, so you can't get it off. So I'm going to fix this in the future and probably make my desoldering gun around that. But for now, let's look at the other one. This is a solenoid desoldering pump. So this has the same function as the one to the right. It creates suction by moving a piston inside. Nothing special. The problem with this is it's heavy and it's quite strong, so it shakes. As you can hear, it's quite loud, and it jumps when you have it on a surface, so it can actually scratch or damage the PCB. So it's not ideal, but we will be trying this against the other one. This is about $50 or $60, so it's expensive. This one is the cheapest of the bunch. This one costs big $3. These are super inexpensive. It's self-regulating. It heats up to the maximum temperature. A real desoldering station costs you from 150 to 200 US dollars for the cheapest ones. So making my own will make it right about 15 euros. So it's a lot cheaper. As you can see, this one is struggling because it's clogged up. This one is from Richard. So let's pick it apart. You just pull down from the side that has the peg. It's not that dirty inside, but it's clogged on the tip. Let's remove the tip. Yeah, it's removable at least, and it doesn't seem to be clogged in the actual barrel, so that's good. That makes it a lot easier. So the plunger system here works by you push it down and it has a spring and it forces it back up pretty much when you release with the button. So how am I going to make my own? You can use a vacuum pump, but I decided to use this instead. You may ask, what is this? This is a water pump you put on big 8 to 5 liter bottles. They're really common here in Gran Canaria because you can't drink the water from the faucet. So you need to buy water in bottles, and yeah. And this has the benefit of actually having a charge port and an internal battery. You can take off the nozzle, obviously. It comes with a tube, so that's really good. That's handy. So we're combining these two things. The water pump costs 7 to 12 euros, depending on the model and stuff. I have a USB-C one on my water bottle right now. This is my secondary one. Because this pumps water, it should be good enough to pump a liquid, let's say liquid solder. This has a pump that looks like this inside. They are super inexpensive and useful, actually. But instead of building my own charging system, battery, and control board, why not just use this? It has a button on the top to activate it. I can reroute the button to the actual desoldering iron. And of course, you can also put a foot pedal or something instead of a button. So you can activate this remotely. So it's really handy, actually. It has everything you need, and one charge can run for 6 or 7 hours straight. So comparing these two do the same job, obviously, but with the pump, it should be closer to a real desoldering station. So let's use this one. I can obviously use the other one, but it's so bulky, I'd rather use the cheap one. Now, let's start out with what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to try to desolder these USB ports. The reason I need a desoldering pump is I got my 40-pin CPUs for the Vectrex, and I need to desolder it without destroying the traces on the board. But the board is really old, so... Okay, so there is an optional extra. So if you want temperature control on your iron, you can buy something like this. This is a temperature control module for 220 volts, and it has a temperature sensor. You can just put it inside, drill a hole in the side, and just put it against the heating element, and you should be good to go. It should get good enough values. So you put in the input voltage on the left, and the output is the regulated voltage. It's 1500 watts max, 0 to 450 degrees setting. I don't think this iron goes to 450 degrees, but will go to the max if you put it to the max, pretty much. I'm not using this. I'm going for the quick and dirty this time. So I'm not even going to 3D print a collet to hold the plunger. The plunger has like a rubber seal you can use. So this is very primitively made, obviously, but hey, it's cheap. It's around 3 euros, not at all expensive. If you get unlucky, maybe you pay 6, but it's still way under what you pay for a real one. So I'm blowing through it to see if there is a blockage, and yes, there is. Now I'm blowing through it again, and no, there is no blockage. So it is the tip. So I'll have to clean that out later. Okay, so you pull down, and you can pull it out. Now, the rubber gasket there, you can remove it and measure the internal diameter and make a plug with the small peg if you want to instead, and use one of these as the outlet for the pump, so or the inlet for the vacuum. So you could just 3D print something as well. If you have a 3D printer, you can use that. But I'm going for the quick and dirty, like I said, so hot glue it is. My best friend. Hot glue is actually very reliable here because it doesn't get hot enough in the handle to melt it, so you can use it. It's fine. And be careful you don't get it on your fingers. If you want it to not stick to your fingers... Oh, crap, it broke. Okay, cheap crap. What can you do? Okay, going back to my point, if you want to smooth it out or something, and you want to use your finger, wet your finger with your tongue and it doesn't stick. You can use a soldering iron and a big lump of hot glue, or the heat, a hot air gun, that works as well. Make sure you don't put it too high. I'm using my big glue gun instead. That also works. This one hasn't broken in like 15 years, so this one is good. I speed through here because it's boring to see me glue stuff. Like I said, wet your finger with something. You can use water if you don't want to lick your finger, obviously. And that works fine. You can also, when you are done mashing it in and you see it's a little dry or cool, you can suck through the tube and have your finger on the other side, and you can see if there is a vacuum. So you can actually test it before to make sure. This was a little bit annoying because I didn't wait long enough. I was impatient, so I pulled it out when it still was molten. So as you can see, it doesn't stick to my finger because I wet it before. It's really useful tip, actually. Now, so I'm sucking and I'm putting my finger, and there is a vacuum seal. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, next step. We are almost done here, actually. Just plug it into the vacuum pump, or water pump if you want to be completely accurate. And I turn it on. And it holds vacuum, perfect. And it actually sounds like a real desoldering station. That's actually kind of cool. That's the outlet. The spigot that actually blows out water is actually the outlet. Now, a quick word for my sponsor, PCBWAY. Either if you're a hobbyist or a professional, they got you covered. They make all types of PCBs. They have super quality, loads of experts in the field. They help you with every step of the way. They also do CNC machining, sheet metal fabrication, 3D printing, and loads of other services. Their 3D printing services are very good. They have a lot of different services for 3D printing as well, SLS, SLA, FDM. They have a great promo for newbies, $5 for 10 PCBs or $29 for free shipping with assembly. Also, take a look at their community page. They have some awesome projects here, and you can actually buy them directly from the project pages. Okay, now back to the video. Okay, so I'm just putting it together again. Nothing special. I speed up the parts that are boring. So full disclaimer, the one I got from Richard didn't work. The heating element seems to have burnt out, so I took my own and put the heating element from that instead. Okay, it's time to do some testing on this. So this is my old USB hub. I'm just used for testing and stuff. I did that in the last video as well. Okay, so first, without anything else, just some flux. And as I thought, this won't work. So the annoying part is you have to use your other hand to push the button. Obviously, use a foot pedal or a button directly on the soldering iron will alleviate that problem. It's not that hard to actually run a wire to do that. So not too bad, but not good enough either. So what you can do is put on some solder. I'm using some low temp solder here. It's just I put way too much here, but fine. I was trying to hurry up so I can get this video out this month, and it's the 29th now, so it's really hard for me to make videos. My back hurts way too much, so I can't sit on the computer very long, but I was feeling a little bit better today, so I thought maybe I could sneak out a video quick. So you just put in new solder, heat it up. You can use the actual desoldering to heat it up as well. Now, let's try this. It's an annoying board because it's tilted. Let's see. Sorry for the out of focus image. Sometimes it goes out of focus by itself. Oh yeah, you see the smoke coming out? That's from the pump. So that's why you need a filter in between. So you can use a car filter or something in the line, like one of the. I can show you right now how they look. Let's see if this goes out. Yeah, no problems at all, actually. And the holes seem nice and clean. So the filter I'm talking about is one of these. These are car filters, nothing special. You put them in between so you get like clean air going to the compressor pretty much, so it holds a while. Not necessary because they're cheap, but hey, why break something if it works? Well, that looks decent, actually. I thought the white stuff was ripped pads or something, but no, all of the USB ports have them actually. So, my bad. I just noticed. Okay, so let's use some normal solder and see if this works. So, unfortunately, my solder is cheap and really bad, actually. So, the chances of this working are slim to none. So if I heat it up long enough, it will mix eventually and do a good job. But when you have solder paste at your disposal, why would you do that? I'm using some flux just to give it the best chance, the best hope possible. Unfortunately, I turned this off right before I tried it, so the temperature had gone down, but it still melts the solder. The problem is it's really not cleaning out the holes as well as with the solder paste. So if you're going to do this with a cheap desoldering pump thingy, use solder paste or good solder, not the cheap kind I am using. It's not even melting the big lump there, so just waiting until it gets better. You should also clean the tip after a few times, obviously. Let's see if this goes off as easy. So I'm struggling to keep it on the pin. And it does remove the solder, obviously. You don't want solder inside the pump, so that's why the filter. But it did work on the first one. So my solder is crap, so that's my own fault. I cheaped out, bought some cheap solder. You should buy some more decent solder, I guess. So cheap solder makes the job twice as hard. So I'm just checking, see, and this won't come off. It's almost there, but I don't want to rip the pads. Not that it's important in this case, but I want to make sure I don't rip pads on my Vectrex, so I'm taking all the precautions to see if it works with the solder paste again. So I'm putting a little bit less this time. It's 138C low melt. So this is perfect for this. I'm going to use this on the Vectrex as well to remove the 40-pin chip. So let's see. The wire is a bit annoying, but you could just get a wire. What's it called? Some a loop or something and put it on the actual tube, so the wire goes with the tube. That would make it a lot easier. I'm melting the solder with the actual tip here. Not the best, but it works. If you use a normal soldering iron, it mixes it better, obviously. Now, let's try this. All of that smoke blowing right at me. You could put the output to another place or into a filter or something, so you don't get the smoke. The filter will actually help with that as well, because it will catch all the carbon and stuff. For now, it's fine. I haven't died yet from it, so. Okay, that was easy enough. Let's see if it comes out. I'm not putting a lot of force at all on these, by the way, when I'm pulling them off. Very little force. It looks like I pulled it off hard, but it's actually the side tabs that are bent in a bit, so they hold it in place. Let's clean this off. That looks very good, actually. So that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Obviously, a real station will work better, but considering the price, it's like 200 euros for a decent one. So now, let's compare with the plunger soldering iron with a solenoid. It's melting the solder. I put some solder paste, a real one, so it has the best chance possible of working. So this one, if you don't hold in the button, it spits everywhere. It's loud. It shakes every time you push the button. It's very heavy, so it's hard on the wrists as well, especially when it shakes. And they're quite expensive. It's like 50 to 60 euros, or I've even seen them over 80 sometimes, and they're not that good. You saw that it jumped out of the pin pretty much, and that wasn't me. It just did that by itself because of the force the solenoid makes. I'll do a few more just in case, just to make sure I get as much as I can. And as you can see, the spatter everywhere. So you have to clean the board meticulously with this system. So afterwards, because otherwise you will have a short somewhere. And you don't want small solder bits everywhere. That happens when you let it go too fast, or the solenoid just gives up and it spits out everywhere. So no, I would recommend you to actually do my build instead of buying one of these, because it's cheaper, it's more reliable actually, and it actually does a better job. Okay, so let's take this off. I had to put in way too much heat in this, and it came out, but it left one of the pins. So, and because the pin got loose from the plastic, that means there was way too much heat going into the USB ports. So these are crap. If you want to see a comparison between my solution and a real desoldering gun, we're going to have the live show now this Sunday on Richard's channel, Learn Electronics Repair. And come over, the link is in the description. It's from 5 to 7 on Sunday. Thanks for watching. See you. Now, just a quick word. Sorry for the delayed videos. I've been feeling really sick. My back hurt. I had a 41-degree fever. So sorry about that. I'll try to post a video quicker next time. Have a nice one. Bye.